talk about food. I could probably eat the whole thing myself.
Moi aussi, j'adore la cuisine italienne. I love Italian cuisine. And I'm always looking for restaurant recommendations. Estelle, tu peux me conseiller un bon restaurant italien?
Le meilleur restaurant italien est la pizzeria La Gioconda. It's the best pizzeria in town. Let's listen to our friend Anna make a reservation there.
Pizzeria La Gioconda, bonjour.
Bonjour, j'aimerais réserver une table pour midi, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, madame. Pour combien de personnes?
Pour 2.
Oui, bien sûr. À quel nom?
Cordier.
So Anna, or Madame Cordier, began by saying, J'aimerais réserver une table. That's, I would like to reserve a table.
J'aimerais réserver une table. J'aimerais, or I would like, is more polite than je veux, which means I want.
After J'aimerais réserver une table, she said she wants the table for noon, or pour midi.
Of course, when making a reservation, you'll often be asked for how many people. That's pour combien de personnes.
And à quel nom, which means at which name, or under which name. À quel nom?
Anna answered with her last name, Cordier, which is how reservations are usually made in France.
Oui, bien sûr. À quel nom?
Cordier.
Now you try. Repeat after me. J'aimerais réserver une table pour midi. Pour combien de personnes? À quel nom?
Bravo!
Let's hear Anna and Claude make another reservation. This time at Arpège, le meilleur restaurant de Paris. The best restaurant in Paris.
Oh wow, that's an extremely popular restaurant. I can never get a table there.
Arpège, bonjour.
Bonjour, je voudrais réserver une table pour 19 heures.
Pour combien de personnes?
Pour 4, s'il vous plaît.
À quel nom?
Parmentier.
Sounds like Claude, or should I say, Monsieur Parmentier, got that reservation. Maybe he's just a little bit better connected than you, Paul.
Whatever, Estelle. So, Claude asked for a reservation by saying, Je voudrais réserver une table.
Right. He used voudrait, which you can use in the same way as aimerait. Voudrais is just a little more decisive. J'aimerais means I would like, while je voudrais means I would want.
Oh my god.
So, Claude voudrait...
The whole highway is under construction. Oh my god. I just realized. The whole highway. Then it can take 3 days, 3 years without any highway. How can we commute? Mọi người có thấy không là cái xa lộ ở trên không đã được giật sập để xây mới, đã được giật sập rồi. Bây giờ là đi Lakeshore là chỉ đi đường local thôi, không có đi highway nữa.
Le pour 19 heures. 19 heures is 19 o'clock, or 7 p.m.
Remember, in France we use the 24-hour clock. Now you can practice. Repeat after me. Je voudrais réserver une table.
Okay, we'll turn off grading for now, but you can still follow along.
Je voudrais réserver une table pour 19 heures. Let's practice making reservations for some other times. So, Paul, if we wanted to reserve a table for 8 p.m. or 20 o'clock, that would be...
Je voudrais réserver une table pour 20 heures.
Right. And how about a lunch date at 1 p.m. or 13 o'clock?
Je voudrais réserver une table pour 13 heures.
Now let's say you'd like a table for 6 p.m. or 18 heures. Say, I would like to reserve a table for 6 p.m. Super! Je voudrais réserver une table pour 18 heures.
Now that we've got reservations under control, join us next lesson to learn what to say when you're actually at the restaurant.
We know we can make a restaurant reservation with je voudrais or j'aimerais réserver une table.
But now it's time to get over there and eat. Let's listen to Anna and Claude arriving at Pizzeria La Gioconda.
Bonsoir, j'ai réservé pour 2 personnes.
À quel nom?
Cordier.
Oui, Madame Cordier. En salle ou en terrasse?
En salle, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, bien sûr.
Anna said, j'ai réservé pour 2 personnes. That literally means I reserved for 2 people.
We don't need to say j'ai réservé une table or I reserved a table because it's implied.
Anna used the past tense j'ai réservé because she already made the reservation.
J'ai réservé.
J'ai réservé pour 2 personnes.
Now you can try it. Repeat after me. J'ai réservé pour 2 personnes.
Now that the host knows that Anna a réservé, she needs some more information.
Right. We heard one question that we already know. À quel nom? That's under what name?
But then we heard a new question. Let's hear it again.
En salle ou en terrasse?
En salle ou en terrasse? Inside or on the terrace? En salle literally means in room.
The host is giving them the option of sitting in the restaurant, en salle, or outside on the terrace, en terrasse.
En salle ou en terrasse? Okay, over to you. Repeat after me. En salle. En terrasse. En salle ou en terrasse?
Let's try answering that question now.
When the host asks you where you want to sit, say, on the terrace.
En salle ou en terrasse?
Bravo! En terrasse.
You don't always need to make a reservation to get a table. Let's hear another way to enter un restaurant en France.
Claude, j'ai faim. Où allons-nous dîner ce soir?
Tu veux manger marocain?
Oui, j'ai envie de tagine.
Allons à chez Fatima. C'est bon et ce n'est pas trop cher.
Parfait, allons-y. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, je n'ai pas réservé. Nous sommes 2.
D'accord. Vous préférez une table en salle ou en terrasse?
En terrasse, s'il vous plaît.
Très bien.
This time, Claude told the host that he hadn't made a reservation by saying, je n'ai pas réservé.
Je n'ai pas réservé. Then he added, nous sommes 2. This literally means we are 2, but you can use it to tell the host how many people are in your party.
For example, you can also say, nous sommes 3, nous sommes 4, nous sommes 5.
And remember, you can also say pour 2 or pour 2 personnes to talk about how many people are at your table.
terrasse. Probably because it's beautiful out. Now you try. Repeat after me. J'ai réservé. Je n'ai pas réservé. Nous sommes deux.
Speaking of beautiful weather, I think it's time we got out there and enjoyed it with some good food. Even though je n'ai pas réservé, I'm sure we can find a nice restaurant where we can sit en terrasse.
Quelle bonne idée, Paul.
I hope you're hungry. In this lesson, you'll be making a reservation and going to a restaurant with a friend. First, let's review some of the phrases you might use.
Let's start by reserving a table. Repeat after me. J'aimerais réserver une table pour midi. Je voudrais réserver une table pour 19 heures.
Now let's practice talking about how many people are eating with us.
Repeat after me. Pour 2 personnes. Nous sommes 2.
Now that we're at the restaurant, let's practice saying that we did or didn't make a reservation.
Repeat after me. J'ai réservé. J'ai réservé pour 2 personnes. Je n'ai pas réservé.
Now, time to talk about eating inside or outside.
Repeat after me. En salle. En terrasse.
Okay, now we're ready to put it all together. You and your friend have decided to celebrate the weekend by going out to a popular restaurant, chez Amélie.
You want to make absolutely certain that you get a table, so you call the restaurant to make a reservation. The restaurant employee greets you as soon as he picks up the phone.
Chez Amélie, bonjour.
You greet the employee as well. Now you can say why you called.
Say, I would like to reserve a table. Super! Je voudrais réserver une table.
Now, be more specific.
Say, I would like to reserve a table for noon. Très bien. Je voudrais réserver une table pour midi.
What if you want to make a dinner reservation for 7 p.m. or 19 heures?
Say, I would like to reserve a table for 7 p.m. Excellent. Je voudrais réserver une table pour 19 heures.
Bien sûr, pour combien de personnes?
Say for 2 people. Bravo! Pour 2 personnes.
D'accord, à quel nom?
You tell the waiter your last name for the reservation.
Très bien, à ce soir.
Woof! You got a reservation. When 7 o'clock rolls around, you and your friend arrive at the restaurant anticipating a great meal.
Say good evening. C'est parfait. Bonsoir.
You want the host to know that you have a reservation.
Say, I reserved. C'est super. J'ai réservé.
You could add a little bit more information.
Say, I reserved for 2 people. Très bien. J'ai réservé pour 2 personnes.
À quel nom?
Again, you give the host your name and response. Now imagine that you hadn't made a reservation.
Say, I didn't reserve. Bravo!
ordering. Let's follow our two French friends, Anna and Claude, as they start their meal at un restaurant italien.
Bonjour, vous désirez quelque chose à boire?
Oui, je voudrais un verre de vin rouge, s'il vous plaît.
Très bien. Et pour monsieur?
Pour moi, une bière, s'il vous plaît.
So the server very politely asked, "Vous désirez quelque chose à boire? Would you like something to drink?"
Vous désirez means you desire or do you desire.
And quelque chose means something.
So, vous désirez quelque chose à boire literally means do you desire something to drink.
Anna ordered un verre de vin rouge, a glass of red wine, and Claude une bière, a beer.
Did you notice how Anna used je voudrais to order?
Je voudrais un verre de vin rouge. I would like a glass of red wine.
You might remember from our last lesson that she could have also said j'aimerais un verre de vin rouge.
But Claude just said, pour moi, une bière. Or, for me, a beer.
Pour moi, une bière. You don't have to say much to get your order across, as long as you don't forget to say s'il vous plaît.
All right, Paul. I think that's enough listening. Can we try speaking now? S'il vous plaît.
Bien sûr. Let's practice some responses to the question, vous désirez quelque chose à boire? Repeat after me. Je voudrais un verre de vin rouge. Pour moi, une bière.
Now say, for me, a glass of red wine. Parfait. Pour moi, un verre de vin rouge.
So, instead of just asking, vous désirez quelque chose à boire, a French waiter may ask you if you would like something called un apéritif.
Oui. Un apéritif is a small drink that is usually served before a meal to stimulate the appetite. It's very common in France. Let's hear it.
Bonsoir, vous prenez un apéritif?
Oui, je voudrais un verre de champagne.
Et pour monsieur?
Un coca, s'il vous plaît.
Bien sûr.
The server asked, vous prenez un apéritif? This means, will you have an apéritif? Or, literally, will you take an apéritif?
Note that in French you don't have a drink or a meal. You take it.
And notice that an apéritif doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. Claude, for example, ordered a Coke or un coca.
Oui, an apéritif can be a juice or a soda as well. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Je voudrais un apéritif. Je voudrais un verre de champagne. Un coca, s'il vous plaît. Okay, now we've seen several ways to talk about ordering food and drinks in formal situations.
We can use vous désirez or vous prenez to ask someone if they would like something, like in vous désirez quelque chose à boire or vous prenez un apéritif.
And we can answer with j'aimerais or je voudrais, which both mean I would like.
Oh, look, the server is coming over. Let's practice ordering a Coke or un coca.
When the server asks if you would like an apéritif, say, I would like a Coke.
Vous désirez un apéritif?
Très bien, je voudrais un coca.
I don't know about you, Paul, but now that I've ordered my apéritif, I'm ready to eat.
Well, Estelle, you're in luck, because in the next lesson, we'll learn how to order a delicious meal.
I can't wait. After arriving au restaurant and ordering some apéritif, Anna and Claude are ready to order their food. Ils sont prêts à commander.
Let's hear their conversation with the server.
Bonsoir, êtes-vous prêt à commander?
Oui. Qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez?
Le poisson est très bon.
D'accord, le poisson pour moi.
Et pour monsieur?
Je vais prendre le poulet avec des pommes de terre, s'il vous plaît.
Merci.
The server started by asking, êtes-vous prêt à commander? This means, are you ready to order?
Did you notice that instead of saying, vous êtes prêt à commander, the server switched vous and et to make a more formal question? Êtes-vous prêt à commander?
Yep. So, are they ready to order? Anna needed some help making a decision and asked for a recommendation with qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez? Or, what do you recommend to me? Remember, we learned how to say tu peux me conseiller un bon restaurant? Can you recommend a good restaurant to me? This is similar, but we use vous since we're speaking to the server.
Let's hear all that again.
Qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez?
Le poisson est très bon.
D'accord, le poisson pour moi.
The server said, le poisson est très bon, which you probably guessed means the fish is very good.
And it better be because Anna said le poisson pour moi. The fish for me.
But then Claude ordered with, je vais prendre le poulet. I will have the chicken.
Though remember that in French, we don't have drinks or food. We take them. Je vais prendre literally means I will take. You can try this now. Repeat after me. Qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez? Je vais prendre le poulet.
You can really use je vais prendre with any food or drink. Why don't you try ordering le poisson, like Anna?
When the server asks if you're ready to order, say, I will have the fish.
Êtes-vous prêt à commander?
Super! Je vais prendre le poisson.
But wait, Claude and Anna still need to finish off the evening with the check.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
Oui, madame. Désirez-vous un dessert ou un café?
Non, merci. L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, madame.
The server used désirez-vous again.
We know this means would you like. This time he's asking if they would like un dessert ou un café. My two favorite things.
Instead, Anna said a phrase you might already know. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. Check, please.
Okay, let's practice finishing off our meal. Repeat after me. Désirez-vous un dessert? L'addition, s'il vous plaît. So now both you and our two French friends should be full and ready to head home. Try to rest and digest before our next lesson, which will take place, you guessed it, au restaurant. Today, we're returning au restaurant, where we'll experience everything from l'apéritif to l'addition.
Let's quickly review a few key phrases that we'll use au restaurant. We can start by asking for a drink, using the 4 different ways we learned to ask for things.
Repeat after me. Je voudrais un verre de vin. Je vais prendre un coca. J'aimerais un apéritif. Une bière pour moi.
Sometimes there are just too many options on the menu, and you'll need a recommendation. Let's practice that.
Repeat after me. Qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez?
J'ai faim. Time to order. Repeat after me. Je vais prendre le poisson. Je voudrais le poulet.
Now, let's finish off this delicious meal by asking for the check. Repeat after me. L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Okay, now imagine that you and your friend have planned an evening out at your favorite restaurant. You were just seated. Your server comes up to the table and asks,
Vous désirez quelque chose à boire?
Say, I would like a glass of wine. C'est bien. Je voudrais un verre de vin.
let's say instead you want a Coke or un Coca.
Say, a Coke for me.
Kỹ năng lái xe.
Super. Un Coca pour moi.
The server leaves and comes back with your drinks.
Êtes-vous prêt à commander?
You can't decide what to order. Why don't you ask the server for a suggestion? Remember, recommend is me conseiller.
Ask, what do you recommend? Très bien. Qu'est-ce que vous me conseillez?
Le poulet avec les pommes de terre est très bon.
That chicken sounds delicious.
Say, I will have the chicken. Parfait. Je vais prendre le poulet.
Now let's say you want the fish, le poisson, instead.
Poisson.
Say, I will have the fish, please.
Poisson.
C'est super. Je vais prendre le poisson, s'il vous plaît.
Now it's time to ask for the check, so you get the server's attention. When he comes, he asks you a question.
Désirez-vous un dessert?
You're too full for dessert, so you say no.
You can now say, check, please. Bravo. L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Très bien.
And that check is a good way to end your meal and this lesson. Au revoir.
À bientôt.
Au revoir. À bientôt.
Bonjour, Estelle.
Bonjour, Paul. Now that we know how to navigate a restaurant, let's talk about another essential part of social life in France. The dinner party, or as the French say, le dîner.
French people love gathering around food and talking for hours, and our French friend Claude is no exception. Let's listen in and see how he invites his friend Pauline to dinner at his house, à la maison.
Salut, Pauline. Tu veux dîner à la maison?
Avec plaisir, Claude. Quand?
Super. Vendredi soir?
Parfait. À quelle heure?
À 19h.
Très bien. À bientôt.
Wasn't that easy? Claude invited Pauline to dinner with, Tu veux dîner à la maison? Do you want to have dinner at the house?
Right. Dîner can be used both as a noun and a verb. Tu veux dîner à la maison?
Also notice how Claude used the more general à la maison, or at the house, instead of chez moi, which means at my place.
In this case, both of them understand that Claude's inviting Pauline to his house, so no need to spell it out.
Pauline answered with an enthusiastic avec plaisir, or with pleasure. You can use avec plaisir after an invitation or suggestion.
Avec plaisir. And because it's a dinner, he's inviting her for 19h.
19h. That's 19 o'clock, or 7 p.m. Remember, the French use a 24-hour clock. Now you can practice a dinner party invitation. Repeat after me. Tu veux dîner à la maison? À 19h. Avec plaisir.
Avec plaisir.
Now let's listen to another conversation. This time, Claude's inviting another friend, Etienne, to lunch on Sunday.
Étienne, tu veux déjeuner à la maison dimanche midi?
Avec plaisir. Qu'est-ce que j'apporte?
Un dessert, si tu veux.
D'accord. Claude invited Etienne to lunch on Sunday at noon, dimanche midi.
Oui, he asked. Tu veux déjeuner à la maison dimanche midi? And Etienne asked what he could bring, or apporte, with qu'est-ce que j'apporte? What do I bring?
Qu'est-ce que j'apporte? Claude suggested un dessert and added si tu veux, or if you want, to soften his request.
Your French host might also ask you to bring a bottle of wine, or une bouteille de vin. That would be une bouteille de vin, si tu veux.
That sounds like it'll be a lovely Sunday déjeuner. By the way, an invitation to Sunday lunch in France usually means a long afternoon at the table. After the 5 courses, there's a lot of conversation and, most likely, a walk in a nearby park. Wow, that's a lot. I hope Etienne doesn't have any other plans on Sunday.
Okay, now you can try all this. Repeat after me. Tu veux déjeuner à la maison? Qu'est-ce que j'apporte? Un dessert si tu veux.
Now it's your turn to play the host. You'll ask your guest to bring a bottle of wine. Remember, that's une bouteille de vin.
Are you ready? When your guest asks what he should bring, say, a bottle of wine if you want.
Qu'est-ce que j'apporte?
Super! Une bouteille de vin si tu veux.
So, now that the guests are invited, all that's left for the host to do is plan the menu, buy the food, prepare the meal, clean the house.
Well, Claude better get started then.
The big day of the dinner party is here. Claude can finally welcome his friends. But look at the time, Estelle. It's past 7 and no one's here yet.
Don't worry, Paul. In France, it's actually polite to arrive at a party a few minutes late. This is just in case the host is taking a little longer to get things ready.
Oh, that's right. I know I always need a little bit more time than I expected.
And if you're worried that it's rude to show up a little late, your host will surely forgive you if you bring une bouteille de vin.
Sounds like someone just arrived. Now let's listen to the host, Claude, welcoming the first guests.
Bonsoir, Pauline. Bonsoir, Étienne.
Bonsoir Claude, j'ai apporté une bouteille de vin.
Merci beaucoup.
C'est le meilleur vin italien.
Fantastique. Asseyez-vous.
Did you hear what Pauline brought? Elle a apporté une bouteille de vin. She brought a bottle of wine.
Une bouteille de vin is a common gift for a host in France, along with flowers, des fleurs, and a dessert, un dessert.
Oui. So depending on what you've decided to bring, you might say, j'ai apporté une bouteille de vin. J'ai apporté des fleurs. Or, j'ai apporté un dessert.
And Pauline didn't bring just any wine, she brought le meilleur vin italien, the best Italian wine.
That's a bold statement.
Then, Claude invited his guests to have a seat by saying, asseyez-vous, which you might know means sit down or have a seat. Since he's talking to 2 people, Pauline and Etienne, he uses vous.
Asseyez-vous.
Okay, your turn. Repeat after me. Asseyez-vous.
Asseyez-vous.
J'ai apporté une bouteille de vin. flowers, des fleurs, instead of wine.
Say, I brought flowers.
J'ai apporté.
Super. J'ai apporté des fleurs.
Now that the guests have arrived and given Claude their gifts, it's time for a drink.
Vous prenez un apéritif?
Oui, j'aimerais un martini, s'il vous plaît.
Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange?
Like a good host, Claude asked if his guests want an apéritif, which you might remember is a drink you have right before a meal.
Oui, he even used the same question as our server au restaurant. Prenez-vous un apéritif?
Claude's guest Etienne responded by asking if he can have or peut avoir an orange juice. Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange?
Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange? We can use je peux avoir to ask for things from close friends and family, but it's a bit too casual for more formal conversations.
Right, so we wouldn't say je peux avoir when ordering food at a restaurant.
But it never hurts to be extra polite, so we can still use formal phrases like j'aimerais and je voudrais with our friends.
Just like Pauline did when she asked for a martini with j'aimerais un martini.
Now you try a casual request. Repeat after me. Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange?
Okay, let's try asking for a glass of water or un verre d'eau.
Say, can I have a glass of water? C'est bien. Est-ce que je peux avoir un verre d'eau?
Now that everyone's sitting down with their drinks, the conversation is really starting to flow.
Oui, there will be plenty of chances to parler français at this party. Let's meet up again in the next lesson, when it's time to start serving the food.
It's great to see you back at the dinner party. Now it's finally time to eat. Let's listen to some conversations around the dinner table.
Tu veux encore du fromage?
Oui, merci.
Tu veux du pain?
Bien sûr.
We've learned that in formal settings, like at a restaurant, people use désirez-vous to politely ask if someone wants something.
Like, désirez-vous un dessert ou un café? Would you like a dessert or a coffee?
But we don't need to be as formal with friends and family. I know I don't worry about formality with you, Estelle.
Don't I know it? So at a dinner party, we do you want? We can add any food or drink right after tu veux. Like, tu veux du pain? Or, tu veux du café?
What did the host ask his guest again? Let's hear it one more time.
Tu veux encore du fromage?
Tu veux encore du fromage? The host wants to know if his guest wants more cheese. Encore du fromage. This literally means again some cheese.
So if you want to ask your guest if they want more of something, you can say, tu veux encore, then add the food or beverage of your choice.
Oui, like tu veux encore de l'eau? Or tu veux encore de la salade?
Now you can offer your guest some food. Repeat after me. Tu veux du pain? Tu veux encore du fromage? And what if your guest has been scarfing down la salade? Ask, do you want more salad? Super. Tu veux encore de la salade?
Now we're moving on from our main course to le dessert. Let's listen in to one more conversation.
Tu veux encore de la glace, Pauline?
Non, merci. Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre crêpe, s'il te plaît?
Oui, voilà.
Merci.
So the host offered Pauline encore de la glace, more ice cream, and she said no.
Wow, that's some serious self-control.
It seems Pauline would rather have une autre crêpe, another crepe.
She said, est-ce que je peux avoir une autre crêpe? That means, can I have another crêpe?
And it's more casual than saying, je voudrais une autre crêpe.
You can use est-ce que je peux avoir un autre to ask for more of other things too. Like, est-ce que je peux avoir un autre café?
Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre pomme?
Or, est-ce que je peux avoir un autre jus d'orange?
Now you try. Repeat after me. Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre crêpe? Est-ce que je peux avoir un autre café? I think I'll also try une autre crêpe. And encore de la glace.
Maybe this is a good place to wrap up. We wouldn't want to get caught talking with our mouths full, and we've got another dinner party to enjoy in our next lesson. Oof, Estelle, I'm still stuffed from our last dinner party, and now we've got another one.
Guess we're just too popular.
Well, let's review a few useful phrases before we get to the dinner table. First, we can practice dinner party invitations.
Repeat after me. Tu veux dîner à la maison? Avec plaisir.
We can't forget to offer a gift.
Repeat after me. Qu'est-ce que j'apporte? Un dessert si tu veux. Une bouteille de vin si tu veux.
Now tell your host what you brought.
Repeat after me. J'ai apporté des fleurs. J'ai apporté une bouteille de vin.
How about asking for a drink?
Repeat after me. Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange? Est-ce que je peux avoir un verre d'eau?
Let's practice offering and asking for more of something.
Repeat after me. Tu veux encore du fromage? Tu veux encore de la glace? Est-ce que je peux avoir une autre crêpe?
Now let's pretend your friend Pauline is inviting you over for dinner.
Tu veux dîner à la maison?
You're excited about the invitation because Pauline's an excellent cook.
Answer with pleasure. Excellent. Avec plaisir.
Great. You agree on a time and day, so now all that's left is to plan what you'll bring.
Ask, what can I bring? Super. Qu'est-ce que j'apporte?
Un dessert, si tu veux.
You love baking, so a dessert sounds great. Finally, the day of the party arrives. You show up chez Pauline with your homemade dessert.
Say, I brought a dessert. C'est bien. J'ai apporté un dessert.
Now, let's say instead that you brought some flowers, or des fleurs.
Say, I brought flowers. Parfait. J'ai apporté des fleurs.
Merci beaucoup. Asseyez-vous.
You sit down and Pauline asks you another question.
Vous prenez un apéritif?
You're very thirsty, so you just want a glass of water. Remember, that's un verre d'eau.
Ask, can I have a glass of water? Excellent. Est-ce que je peux avoir un verre d'eau?
But what if you're in the mood for an orange juice or un jus d'orange?
Ask, can I have an orange juice? Bravo. Est-ce Est-ce que je peux avoir un jus d'orange?
Bien sûr.
Now, let's turn the tables and say that you're the host. Invite one of your friends to dinner.
Ask, do you want to have dinner at my house?
Voudrais...
C'est parfait. Tu peux dîner à la maison?
Your guest asks what he can bring.
Qu'est-ce que j'apporte?
Answer, a dessert if you want. C'est super. Un dessert si tu veux.
You work hard to prepare a delicious meal for your friends. The main course is your specialty, le poisson. At the party, you see that your friend has finished his plate.
Ask him, do you want more fish? Super. Tu veux encore du poisson?
Oui, merci.
You've been a great host this evening. Now go ahead and relax and worry about those dishes later. You've earned it.
Oui, bonsoir. Salut, Paul.
Salut Estelle. Good to see you. What are we up to today?
Well, we'll be talking about something that we've all experienced.
What's that?
Needing a little help when you're shopping. You know, like those times when you need to find a price or you don't know if the store has what you're looking for.
Ah, yes. You wouldn't want to waste hours looking for something only to find out the store doesn't even sell it.
Exactly. Let's take a trip to La Librairie, the bookstore, to check in with our friend Anna, who's looking for un journal en anglais, a newspaper in English.
Bonjour, est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Bien sûr. Je cherche un journal en anglais. Oui, madame. Ils sont là. Ah, merci.
So, Anna started the conversation by asking, Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Which you may know means, can you help me? It's the polite way of getting an employee's attention.
Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Let's break this down. First, since she's being polite, Anna used the formal vous pouvez, or you can.
Oui. And then she said m'aider, which means help me. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?
Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Can you help me?
Let's try that out. Repeat after me. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? So, how did Anna tell the clerk what she was looking for? Let's hear that again.
Je cherche un journal en anglais. Oui, madame. Ils sont là.
Anna said, Je cherche un journal en anglais, which means I'm looking for a newspaper in English.
Je cherche means I am looking for. That phrase can be super useful when you're a stranger in town and don't know what exactly the different shops sell.
Yep, one time I spent hours looking for aspirin at the supermarché. I learned the hard way that grocery stores don't sell medicine in France.
Well, you could have saved yourself some trouble by asking for help. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Je cherche de l'aspirine.
You're right.
So you can tell the clerk what you're looking for with je cherche and then the item you want. Like, je cherche un livre, or even je cherche de l'aspirine. Let's practice that.
Repeat after me. Je cherche un journal en anglais. Je cherche un livre. Now it's your turn to ask for a little help.
Imagine you're in France, and after a week immersed in the French language, you're looking forward to a break with the company of a good book en anglais. First, ask the salesperson, "Can you help me?" Parfait. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Now tell the salesperson, "I am looking for a book in English." Super. Je cherche un livre en anglais.
You can use that phrase, je cherche, not only to find what you're looking for, but also the price, or le prix, of something. Let's join Anna at the bookstore again to hear what this sounds like.
Bonjour, est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Oui, bien sûr. Je cherche le prix de ce livre. Oui, c'est 4 €. Merci.
After asking, "Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?" Anna said, "Je cherche le prix de ce livre," or "I'm looking for the price of this book," which was 4 €, or 4 euros.
You can use je cherche le prix if you need to know the price of something, but you can't find it on the shelves.
Exactement. So, say I'd fallen in love with some beautiful shoes, or chaussures, and wanted to know the price before I committed. I would say, "Je cherche le prix de ces chaussures."
Je cherche le prix de ces chaussures.
Your turn again. When you hear the bell, repeat after me. Je cherche le prix de ce livre.
Now you're ready to shop for whatever you need.
Time for a trip to la librairie. Paul?
Allons-y. Last time you heard how to ask the store employees for help with Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?
And you learned to use je cherche to get help finding the things you need. Like, je cherche le prix de l'aspirine.
And speaking of l'aspirine, aspirin, now we're heading to the pharmacy in a very unfortunate situation. Our traveler, Julia, has a pounding headache.
Oh no. Nobody wants to get sick when they're traveling. Let's find out how Julia deals with her problem.
Bonjour, est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Je cherche le prix de l'aspirine.
Oui, c'est 6 €.
Merci. Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Oui.
It seems like Julia has found her aspirine and is almost ready to pay.
First, she asked the store clerk for help with, "Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Can you help me?" Then she asked for the price with, "Je cherche le prix de l'aspirine," or "I am looking for the price of the aspirin."
Julia is clearly very cost conscious. I know when I've got a headache, I'd pay just about anything for l'aspirine.
Did you catch the new question? Once the clerk answers her, Julia asks something else. "Est-ce que je peux payer ici?" That means, "Can I pay here?" Payer means to pay.
Est-ce que je peux payer ici? Some bigger pharmacies have a lot of counters. It can be confusing to know where you can pay.
That's right. Julia's most likely in a large parapharmacie. It's like a mega pharmacy that sells everything that pharmacies do and much more.
Oui, j'adore la parapharmacie, even if it's hard to find the register. Speaking of which, let's practice asking where to pay. Repeat after me. Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Now let's get back to the pharmacy to hear how Julia pays for her aspirine.
Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Oui, ce sera tout, madame?
Oui.
6 €, par carte ou en espèces?
En espèces, s'il vous plaît.
Did you catch the question the clerk asked after answering her? Ce sera tout That means, will that be all?
Ce sera tout? You'll often hear this question when you're shopping in France.
Right. Anytime someone is serving you, they'll check that you have all you need with ce sera tout.
Let's hear the next question the salesperson asked again.
Par carte ou en espèces?
He asked how she wanted to pay, by card or in cash.
I'm sure you guessed that carte means card. But did you know the word for cash? Espèce.
Just like in English, you say by card, but in cash. Par carte and en espèces, in cash.
How did she pay then? Par carte ou en espèces?
En espèces, s'il vous plaît.
That's right. En espèces. In cash.
Now you try that. Repeat after me. Par carte.
2 giờ cô đi không kịp rồi, 3 giờ nha.
En espèces. However you want to pay, we've got you covered.
Yep. Speaking of which, it's your turn to payer at the store yourself. The clerk just helped you, and you want to know if you're in the right place to pay.
Ask, can I pay here? Fantastique. Est-ce que je peux payer ici? Now, when the clerk asks you how you want to pay, say, by card, please.
Par carte ou en espèces?
Excellent. Par carte, s'il vous plaît.
So now you've got what it takes to navigate any magasin, large or small.
And head to the checkout with confidence.
Ce sera tout, Paul?
C'est tout pour le moment. That's all for now, Estelle.
In that case, au revoir. You know, we've talked a lot about how to get by in a store in France.
Right. We learned how to ask if you can pay at a particular counter with Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
And how to respond when the cashier asks you whether you want to pay par carte or en espèces.
But there's still a few more phrases that will help make your shopping experience go smoothly.
Let's catch up with our French speaker, Thomas, at the checkout in the supermarket. But he has a little problem. Let's listen.
Excusez-moi, est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Oui, monsieur. Je n'ai pas d'espèces. Où est-ce que je peux payer par carte, s'il vous plaît?
Vous pouvez payer par carte à cette caisse.
D'accord, merci.
So what is Thomas' problem?
He said, Je n'ai pas d'espèces. We know espèces is cash, so je n'ai pas d'espèces means I don't have any cash.
Je n'ai pas d'espèces. I totally relate to Thomas. I never have cash on me when it matters.
Like when it's your turn to pay.
Not true, Estelle, not true.
Thomas doesn't have cash, so he asked, Où est-ce que je peux payer par carte? Or, where can I pay by card?
Où est-ce que je peux payer par carte? You may not know this, but not all the registers in a French supermarché take cards.
Good point. And if you just want to ask, where can I pay? You can just say, Où est-ce que je peux payer?
Où est-ce que je peux payer? Let's hear what the clerk said again.
Vous pouvez payer par carte à cette caisse.
The register in French is la caisse. So the store employee says he can pay à cette caisse or at this register.
Vous pouvez payer à cette caisse. Okay, are you ready? It's your turn.
Repeat after me. Où est-ce que je peux payer? Où est-ce que je peux payer par carte? Now, imagine you're in a big supermarché and you can't find la caisse. Time to ask for help.
Right, but this time you'll use another way to ask where the register is. Remember, you learned to say je cherche to find something. So let's use it to find la caisse right now. Say, I'm looking for the cash register. Bien, je cherche la caisse. So you've learned a few ways to find la caisse, and you've learned how to pay, but there's one more thing you might need to ask for à la caisse.
What could that be?
Let's listen to our French speaker Elsa getting takeout to find out.
Bonjour, est-ce que je peux avoir 2 pizzas au pepperoni, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, bien sûr. Ce sera tout?
Oui, merci.
24 €, s'il vous plaît. Par carte?
Oui, je peux avoir le ticket de caisse, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, voilà.
Merci.
First off, Elsa ordered 2 pepperoni pizzas. That's so much to eat by yourself.
Well, I could easily manage that.
I know you could.
After that, she asked,
Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse?
That means, can I have the receipt? We just learned that caisse means register.
yes, and ticket can mean receipt. So ticket de caisse means sales receipt, or just receipt.
Ticket de caisse. Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse?
Okay, your turn again. Try asking for a receipt.
At the bell, repeat after me. Le ticket de caisse.
Le ticket de caisse. Le ticket de caisse.
Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse?
Je peux avoir.
Next time you go shopping in a French-speaking country, you're all set to check out with ease.
No matter the store, you know you can use où est-ce que je peux payer or où est-ce que je peux payer par carte to find the right caisse.
Right, and let's not forget the receipt by asking, Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse? You might just need it to split a pizza with a friend.
And in the next lesson, you'll get to practice everything we've learned in the last few lessons.
Until then,
À bientôt! We're back as promised to give you a chance to try out all the phrases en français we've learned for shopping.
it's a lot to remember, but I'm sure you're up to the task.
How about a quick reminder of those phrases first?
First, we learned how to ask for help in a store. We heard that question a lot.
Repeat after me. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?
While we've got their attention, let's ask for their help using Je cherche.
Me bouffer.
Repeat after me. Je cherche un journal en anglais.
Je cherche un journal de.
Je cherche le prix de ce journal.
Je cherche le prix de le journal.
That didn't sound quite right. Try again. Repeat after Estelle.
Je cherche le prix de ce journal.
Je cherche le prix de la journal. De le journal.
Okay, we'll turn off grading for now, but you can still follow along. Now, this is a big store, so we need to find out where to pay.
Repeat after me. Je cherche la caisse.
Je cherche la caisse.
Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Où est-ce que je peux payer par carte?
Est-ce que je peux payer par carte? Est-ce
It's
que
time to
je
talk to
peux
the cashier
payer
à
par
la
carte?
caisse.
Repeat after me. Par carte.
Par carte. Par carte.
En espèces.
En espèces. En espèces. En espèces.
Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse?
Je peux avoir un ticket de caisse.
I hope you remembered most of those phrases.
Yep, because we're headed to La Librairie in search of a good book in English.
Allons-y. I know a wonderful bookstore just down the street.
Well, I see a lot of French titles here.
Bien sûr. To find the book in English, you'll need to ask a store employee for help. Start by greeting them politely.
Say, good morning. Bien. Bonjour. Now say, can you help me? Parfait. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?
Bien sûr.
Okay, now let's get some help finding the perfect book.
Say, I'm looking for a book in English. Bien. Je cherche un livre en anglais.
Oui, ils sont à gauche.
So the books we want are to the left. Let's go pick one out.
I can't believe you already found one. Looks like a page turner.
Good choice. The front counter looks like the place to pay, but you'd better check to make sure.
Ask, can I pay here? Très bien. Est-ce que je peux payer ici?
Oui, ici, à cette caisse.
Super. Now, answer the cashier's question.
20 € s'il vous plaît. Par carte ou en espèces?
Answer by card.
Par carte.
Excellent. Par carte.
Almost there. But don't forget to get a receipt. Or le ticket de caisse.
Ask the cashier, can I have the receipt, please?
L'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Parfait. Je peux avoir le ticket de caisse, s'il vous plaît?
Le ticket de caisse.
Marvelous. Well done. Now let's go.
Well done.
Not bad at all. Nice shopping with you.
Looks like you won't need us with you next time.
Come back soon to learn some more phrases for talking about money.
À bientôt. Enjoy your book.